Alright, it's been a few weeks since they started framing, so I figured I'd give a little update here. This is the view from the back of the garage. They have the first 2 floors in, and the roof will be next. And partial walls are going up, and then it'll be a lot of interior work. So in here on the first floor, you can see the warm board flooring. This will basically all be filled with PEX piping to divide up the zones and have radiant heat from the floors. Kitchen will be over here, and living space out in front of it with the double stack stairs, one for basement, one for second floor. Front of the house here will have windows and then a multi-slide door for the deck access. And going up to the second floor. Up here, I believe there'll be a master bath here, and this will be a master bedroom over there. The window on the left was a mistake, it was the wrong size. And over to the right will be an office. It's a really nice view from this high up. Is it pretty high, Mac? Is it tall? No. And going towards the back of the house here over the garage, I believe this will be like a linen closet, and then a regular bathroom behind that with laundry. And here will be another living space. And then these back 2 sections will be extra rooms, or bedrooms. You can see just the sheer size of the house looking on from the side is so much more now that it has a full second floor to it, as well as the high ceilings. But of course, adding the deck on down here will help break it up a bit. Whoa! Alright, so I've been wanting to get a ripper like this for quite a while for the excavator here. I have the expanded ripper for the Kubota, which is a lot smaller than this one. Actually, let me go get it to show you the size difference. So this is the Kubota BX ripper, and this is the Bobcat ripper. They only make one size of this, So it's a little bit big, I think, for this machine in terms of its size and probably weight, though I would probably equate it to a full bucket full type of weight. So I'm really happy to have this for a couple reasons. The main one being for all the land clearing that I do, be it stumps, trees, rocks, whatever, just breaking up that ground and removing roots. And then secondly, I'm starting to do a lot more work during the winter time. And as we can see here, I have a lot of clay material right here that I actually want to test this on, because this stuff packs and freezes really hard. So we'll do a little demo between what the bucket can rip up and what this can rip up, and just kind of show the working difference between these two. This way, come here. Boy. Awesome. So, as you can see, the bucket was just scratching the surface over there, and definitely putting a lot more strain on the machine, whereas the ripper is able to really pinpoint that down and get right underneath that frost level. Probably also doesn't help that I think this is a large rock that I buried there, so I was kind of bouncing off that with the ripper. But you know, this material back here is just so soaked that this is, you know, worst case scenario type stuff. This is probably has at least 6 inches of frost right here. Most of the other properties I've been working on during the winter right now just have a couple inches, so I've been able to get away with the bucket, but this is going to be very useful as we get further into winter. And it's also going to be useful to take down a couple more trees here that I think I'm going to be taking down at some point. Alright, so we gotta dig a small trench for the gas line all the way down on this side of the house. Alright, so it's about 7 degrees out. The camera won't work outside, so I have to put it in the cab, so hopefully it stays on. But we have to dig a trench out from the generator to the house. And this side is all clay and frozen, and I have to get over a bunch of frozen hay bales, so this is gonna be fun. All right, it's warmed up a couple degrees. Let's see if I can put the camera outside, especially since the sun's on it now. It should stay warm enough. But I've been able to get somewhat of a trench out here with the ripper. And I ran home and grabbed my 12-inch bucket. So hopefully I can start peeling more of this out with the side teeth on that. But my biggest problem is because this is so frozen, I have to hit like a couple inches over this way to even get a ½ inch out down there, because I just slide down, you know. Otherwise it's just beating it to try and break out so much extra material. And the other problem is that it's so icy and uneven right where I am with the machine that I always am pulling myself down into the trench versus actually getting any good leverage. So I'm fighting two things at once. Alright, so the trench is dug for the gas here. I ended up going further because my dad wanted to bring it all the way back behind that window where the utility room would be on the back other side of the building, so hopefully he could line it up with the joist and go right over versus coming out in a different room. So it wasn't too bad. Once I sort of got some more material out and put it underneath my tracks and based myself up over those frozen hay bales, I got a little bit better grip. But yeah, I mean, as you can see down here, it's pretty much dead frozen for a good foot, and then it loosens up. And luckily up there, there was more sand from when we were backfilling that it really didn't actually hold too much water, and it was all really loose. Either that or it just hasn't gotten that cold down there yet. But up there was a lot easier to dig than down in this area for sure, where all the topsoil was and all the water really sits. Alright, so I figure I'll do a little house tour now that some more framing is done. I really haven't been here to do much since we did most of the exterior work, since a lot of this has been handled directly by a framer, and my dad's done some stuff here and there because he's pretty much up here every evening cleaning up after the framer and doing a couple things here and there. But we can go take a look around. In about another week, the windows will be in, the garage doors will be in, and then electrical and plumbing is starting this following week here. So this is inside the garage. And my dad has gone through and done all the routing required for the radiant floor heating boards so that all the zones can be put in by the plumbers. So more of the interior walls are now up. This room right here is a master bathroom. And then this is a master closet. And this is, of course, the master bedroom. This is a living space right here. I believe since the last time I walked through here, now both of these rooms in the back are framed in, along with the upstairs laundry room, utility room, closet space, what have you. And down in the basement here, we have a couple of the rooms now framed in. This area down here will be just kind of generic living space. This will be a spare room. The back here is the bathroom, and then the utilities room is in this back corner again. And on the side now we have the deck framed. My dad's been working on putting up the posts for the banisters. This is a nice little view you get up here compared to being down on the patio. It's shaping up to be pretty big. Alright, another 5-degree day, but some of the doors and windows came in. We got the 2 garage doors this week, so we're going to work on putting in some of the windows on the first floor. Alright, so I didn't get any footage of picking it up, but I got a power tilt for the excavator here. I've been wanting one of these for quite a while now, and it really makes the grading applications as well as digging applications so much easier for this machine, being that it will allow me to be off kilter with the cab but still get another degree of angle for the bucket. So doing any kind of patio bases, retaining wall bases, dig outs, cleanups, grading will be made much easier by having this power tilt. And the really cool thing about this power tilt is that it's a full 90 degrees, so I can bring the bucket completely 90 degrees on either side of the tilt function, whereas most hydraulic tilts are only about 45 degrees to each side. And so I'm going to be using this today over at my parents' to do some cleanup of rock that we put down and then dig another trench. Alright, so we're putting in the main electrical line down through the ground next to the house here, and I just have to come through and scrape up the gravel we put down and then put in a trench about 2 feet deep. And just kind of like with this deck footing, got to be careful of the outgoing lines for the septic, which are marked by those orange marks on the foundation. So I'll start with the grading bucket to pull all the stone up. Alright, so that gets that trench all dug out and cleaned up. And then after it gets under here, it'll come back above ground for another box that he's installing, and then go into the house from above the ground. So down here it was pretty annoying to be digging this because the top of the ground was unfrozen here, then it was frozen, then it was unfrozen again. So I had to really scratch to be careful, but luckily I didn't hit any of these pipes. This one was just disconnected already. None of the wires were broken, so we were able to just patch it up, and then we'll hydraulic cement the interior of that new feed. Figure I'll give a little walkthrough since it's been a while. We now have all of the core framing, siding, and windows done. Roof is done as well. Electrical's going in, some of the plumbing's in, and after that it's pretty much insulation and then drywall. You can see up here, my dad did a good portion of this decking and the railings. I helped them with the front portion last weekend, but didn't bother filming it since it was pretty uneventful. We also installed the 2-pane sliding door here one night during a week. Worked out really nicely, just a kind of lengthy install due to all the parts it comes disassembled. Alright, it's a few days later here, and the trench is inspected, electrical installed, and got to backfill it. Unfortunately, it did rain and got really warm, so everything's kind of mucky, but better than being frozen anyway. And we also put some stakes in here because we will have to dig out the right side of this again later on to put in gas. It's just that we couldn't line anybody up to put in gas at this time, and it was a whole mess, a whole argument over it. So I'll go ahead and start filling this, as the water from last night's rain has already started doing, and get it all back to how it was. Alright, so that tilt bucket made it really nice to be able to clean up something like this. No problems, and I was all askew over here on the drain. Got the trench all backfilled and cleaned up. Again, we're gonna have to dig it up again, so the hay bale fell apart, of course, during all of this, but it'll be something there anyway. And then a couple frozen pieces left. So I haven't been recording too many videos of the house just because a lot of it's been touch and go. My dad's been doing a lot of stuff after work, and many of the things we're doing are small piecemeal items since we ended up contracting out a lot of the different work inside. Basically the electrical, the plumbing, AC stuff, the drywall, insulation, just because we don't have the time ourselves. And we'll be doing the flooring and of course some of the stuff I've included in this video, like we're doing the decking, we did all the railings, some of the trim items like that, but not all of it's very video worthy. So this is a little bit of an update with at least some machine work in it as well. So I'm not sure the next video that'll be on this, but I'm sure it'll probably be something related to the flooring, or if we get to the exterior stuff first, since a lot of the flooring's back ordered. We still have to finish the infiltration and the wall on the other side. And then of course, you know, the patio area and everything like that will be something we do as well.